Last night I pretended to pass out at dinner. I wasn't sick, I was acting. 30 minutes later, police were in my kitchen. My wife was at my laptop with a USB drive, and there was a small vial in her purse that explained 3 months of dizziness I kept blaming on stress. My name is Marcus. 3 months ago, everything looked good. Promotion on the way, big pitch coming up, steady raise. Right then, my wife, Claudia, suddenly got very into cooking. Every night it was salmon, handmade pasta, fancy soups. And almost every night, about half an hour after I ate, I'd feel like my head was full of fog. Not normal tired, slow and off, like my brain was lagging behind my eyes. I told myself it was work pressure. She told me it was my man diet. But on the nights I ate at the office, I felt fine. The pattern made me nervous, so I saw my doctor, Dr. Lee. He said to keep a food diary. Write down what I ate and how I felt and when. 2 weeks later, the diary was plain. Claudia's dinners lined up with the fog. Food from anywhere else didn't. I started testing it on purpose. I'd move the food around on my plate, slip it into a napkin, dump sauces. On those nights, my head was clear. When I ate her food, the fog came back right on schedule. I needed proof. One Saturday, I ate every bite and hit record on my phone. Through the haze, I heard Claudia go into my office and make a call. He's out. I can grab the files now. Transfer better be ready tonight. My big project was a pitch to Sterling Global. If I was foggy, I'd miss, she'd copy, and someone else would deliver. I looped in 2 people, Dr. Lee for the medical side and Detective Carla Morris, who handles corporate theft. We set a plan for Monday night, 48 hours before my pitch. I'd pretend to eat, fake a collapse, and they'd be nearby. I set a small camera aimed at the hall to the office. I kept my phone recording for clean audio. At dinner, I moved the food, smashed the empty plate for realism, and went down on the kitchen floor. Claudia called someone right away. He's out cold again. Their campaign will be ours tonight. Then she headed for my office. Sirens, the door. Police! They found her with my laptop open, a USB in the port, and an amber vial in her purse. They bagged the laptop, the drive, the vial, and her phone. At the table, Detective Morris told me what they already had. Payments from a firm called Apex Marketing to Claudia for consulting, $6,000, a month plus a $40,000 bonus if she delivered. My campaign before my pitch, Dr. Lee. Later said the liquid was a sedative. Enough to cloud thinking and make me look worn out and unreliable. Not enough to throw up obvious red flags. I went home to a kitchen with evidence tags. Dr. Lee called and said I'd caught it early. Long-term use could have done damage. Everyone told me to postpone the Sterling pitch. I didn't. I made coffee, took a cold shower, opened the deck, and rebuilt anything she might have copied. I tightened the story, updated the numbers, and added 1 slide about protecting client IP. In the boardroom the next morning, I was steady and simple. I answered questions directly. The Sterling CEO shook my hand and asked when we could start. We started that week. 3 months later, the campaign hit every target. I was promoted to VP. Apex lost clients once word got around. Claudia took a plea and went to prison. I sometimes give short talks on security and what I learned. I open with a joke. If your spouse suddenly starts cooking like a chef after your promotion, maybe order takeout. But people go quiet when I get to the diary. When I look back, the signs were obvious. The check-ins that sounded caring but tracked whether I'd eaten. The suggestions to let someone else handle the big project. The sudden interest in my laptop. The way the fog arrived like it was on a timer. The performance was convincing. Worried wife, let me drive. You should rest. It wasn't help. It was control. Keep me foggy, keep me from finishing, walk my work out the door. People ask why I didn't confront her earlier. I didn't want the answer to be what it was. It's easier to believe you're stressed than to believe your wife is knocking you down so someone can pay her for your work. That's why the diary mattered. Feelings are messy. Patterns aren't. If any of this sounds familiar, track it. Write it down. What, when, how you feel. Tell a doctor. If you think a crime is happening, talk to law enforcement before you confront anyone. Back up your files. Use 2-factor authentication. Keep logs. Don't explain a plan to someone who might be sabotaging you. Prove it. I pretended to faint. The truth stood up. Now there's no fog, no little amber vial, just work I'm proud of and people I trust. I wouldn't have believed this story if I hadn't lived it, but it's simple in the end. Pay attention to the pattern and believe it when it keeps repeating. Thanks for watching PI's like and subscribe.